It's the 15th of July, 2026, and something is happening in the waters off Iran's coast that historians will spend years dissecting. Footage released just this morning by U.S. Central Command shows a scene that looks almost surgical. Precision munitions tearing into cruise, missile storage bunkers, and launch positions on Greater Toom Island, sitting right at the mouth of the Strait of Hormuz. The entire operation lasted roughly 90 minutes, start to finish. Special operations teams moved in, breached their targets, and strike aircraft followed immediately after. By the time Iran's Revolutionary Guard realized what had happened, the damage was already done. To understand why this strike matters and why power plants and bridges are reportedly next on the list, you need to rewind and look at the last 5 days. What we're witnessing is the 5th consecutive night of American airstrikes against Iranian targets. Washington has reimposed a naval blockade across the strait, and the commander of U.S. Central Command has now gone on record explaining exactly what triggered this response. 7 commercial vessels attacked within a single week. Close to a dozen civilian sailors killed, wounded, or unaccounted for. Fighter squadrons, naval forces, and one-way attack drones have all been thrown into the fight, some for the very first time in actual combat. F-15 Strike Eagles, F-16 Wild Weasels, all engaged. And last night, in an interview with Fox News, President Trump laid out what comes next. According to his remarks, next week the power plants get hit. Next week the bridges come down. Unless, he said, Iran agrees to sit down and negotiate. Asked whether that's likely, the answer given was blunt. Almost no chance. He also suggested that real authority inside Iran has shifted, that whoever controls the strait now effectively controls the country. Separately, reports have surfaced of a commercial vessel sinking near Bandar Abbas while at anchor. It remains unclear who or what caused it. Trump additionally confirmed that the U.S. is monitoring activity at Pickaxe Mountain, a suspected underground nuclear facility, warning it would become a target if circumstances required it. So here's where things stand. Iran opened fire on civilian crews and attempted to justify it under the banner of maritime law. Washington's answer has come in the form of next-generation penetrator bombs that leave little room for negotiation. The timeline tells the story clearly. On July 7th, Iran's Revolutionary Guard fired on commercial ships. In the days since, American retaliation has escalated steadily, with F-15E Strike Eagles leading strike packages alongside F-16 CJs, aircraft specifically built to detect and destroy enemy radar by flying straight into its beam. One-way attack drones have been layered into these operations as well, targeting positions scattered across islands throughout the strait. Satellite and targeting imagery reveal why these islands matter so much. They've served as hiding spots for drones, ballistic and cruise missiles, and fast attack boats. These drones can reach remote, hard-to-access locations, operating in coordinated swarms guided by onboard artificial intelligence. The focus on these islands isn't random. It's because Iran has reportedly used exactly these positions to harass and, in some cases, kill the mariners simply trying to move cargo and oil through Hormuz. At present, roughly 20 vessels from Central Command's destroyer fleet are stationed in the region, backed by 2 aircraft carriers. Iran's Revolutionary Guard apparently believed it could dominate the strait. Instead, U.S. forces have taken control of it and left Iran with a steep price to pay. Greater Toom Island sits at the strait's western entrance and has functioned as one of the most heavily fortified forward positions in the region, serving as a base for cruise missile storage and launch systems capable of striking any ship attempting passage. Neutralizing it isn't simple. Not only because of its defenses, but because the window between launching an attack and Iran repositioning or firing back is measured in mere minutes. This demands speed and precision executed almost simultaneously. Central Command's solution has been a large, coordinated strike package running nearly every night this week, and understanding how it works reveals just how layered modern air power has become. Before any bomb falls, suppression of enemy air defenses comes first. F-16 Wild Weasels are purpose-built for this exact mission, flying ahead of the main strike force to locate and neutralize every Iranian radar system and surface-to-air missile site that activates. Essentially, they draw fire, so nothing else has to. These aircraft carry AGM-88 HARM missiles, fire-and-forget weapons that lock onto radar emissions. The instant an Iranian radar powers on, it effectively broadcasts its own coordinates. What follows is either jamming or missile strike, and either way, that radar goes dark. Next comes the main strike package, centered around the two-seat F-15E Strike Eagle, one of the most capable strike aircraft ever fielded. These jets have been delivering precision-guided munitions against hardened facilities on Greater Tomb Island, cruise missile bunkers, launch platforms, coastal defense installations. The visible explosions include secondary detonations from weapons depots being hit, some reportedly involving 5,000-pound bunker-buster bombs. These same aircraft are expected to be the ones tasked with striking Iran's power grid and bridge infrastructure if that phase begins. None of this functions without persistent intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance support. Two Hawkeyes, operating off carriers, provide radar coverage and real-time situational awareness. EA-18G Growlers work alongside them, jamming Iranian communications and radar systems. The result is a stark contrast. American commanders see a clear operational picture, while inside Iranian command centers, the picture is reportedly reduced to static and confusion. The F-15E itself is not a subtle aircraft, capable of carrying 8,000 pounds of ordnance or more at speeds approaching Mach 2. Against fixed installations like missile storage sites or energy infrastructure, the outcome is rarely in doubt. What existed on Greater Tomb Island yesterday morning is gone today. There are also reports that smaller power stations near these islands, distinct from mainland facilities believed to support ballistic missile production, have already come under fire, possibly signaling what's to come. Central Command's public statement confirmed precision strikes against coastal defenses along with cruise missile storage and launch sites within that 90-minute operational window. Neither the Strike Eagles nor the Wild Weasels arrived intending to negotiate. Turning to Iran's maritime capabilities specifically, recent strikes have targeted coastline defenses and port entry points, including anti-ship cruise missile systems. Central Command has been systematically dismantling any system Iran has used, or could use, to strike vessels on the water. Iran has demonstrated it can hit commercial ships 7 in 7 days, with nearly a dozen mariners killed, injured, or missing. Officials are treating this as a deliberate pattern rather than an isolated incident, and the response is focused on eliminating Iran's ability to repeat it. Meanwhile, Iranian officials continue to claim battlefield success, asserting they've destroyed American F-15s, F-16s, and F-35s at a base in Jordan, and pointing to strikes near Fifth Fleet facilities in Bahrain. However, no independent verification supports the claim that any American aircraft have actually been destroyed. Central Command has confirmed 0 aircraft losses and no pause in operations. The gap between Iranian statements and observable, confirmed outcomes remains substantial. Still, degraded is not the same as disarmed. Iran's conventional military capability has clearly been weakened, but that likely means a shift toward proxy tactics. Fast attack boats, mobile ballistic missile launchers concealed along coastlines that can surface briefly to fire before disappearing again. Expect continued strikes along Iran's coast before any expansion toward inland power and infrastructure targets. Shifting briefly to Ukraine, where a significant maritime campaign has been unfolding quietly. Robert Magyar, commander of Ukraine's unmanned systems forces, announced that 20 additional Russian-linked vessels were struck overnight in the Sea of Azov, including 17 oil tankers and 2 gas tankers. That brings the total number of Russian-linked ships hit under this operation to 136 over just 10 days. According to his statement, the first phase of this naval campaign is complete, with focus now shifting toward the Black Sea. Perhaps the most consequential development, though, isn't a strike at all, it's a sentence. Central Command's commander, Admiral Brad Cooper, stated publicly and specifically that over the past 7 days, Iran intentionally targeted civilians by attacking 7 commercial ships, resulting in nearly a dozen crew members killed, missing, or injured. That statement functions as more than commentary. When a senior American military official uses the word intentionally in an official account of attacks against civilian sailors, it establishes a formal record, language that international legal frameworks, shipping nations, and regional partners can all recognize and rally behind. It lays the groundwork for whatever comes next in this campaign, which may extend toward Iran's energy infrastructure and transportation networks. Where this goes from here remains uncertain. What's clear is that the sequence of the last 5 days, the strikes, the blockade, the public accounting of civilian casualties, has set the stage for what officials suggest could be a significantly wider phase of this conflict.